You are live. Welcome to 14 Holy Helpers. And I had a little technical difficulty, but we're glad it's Snowball's with me today. And he wants to be here for the story hour. So today's book is called The Dreamer. And it's a beautiful story, and it's written by Cynthia Rylant and Barry Moser. This is the story of one who dreamed the beautiful dreamers from CR, and for Eliza Louise Harper from BM. The Dreamer, written by Cynthia Rylant and illustrated by Barry Moser. Published by the Blue Sky Press. The Dreamer. There once was a young artist who lived all alone, quietly, and who spent his days as most young artists do, daydreaming. It was a lovely way of living. He would simply lie about thinking, wondering, perhaps making small wishes. And as he dreamed in his mind, he would see something he hadn't seen before. Something beautiful, something new. Then one day, as often happens with young artists, he decided he would make what he saw in his mind. So he made a star. He was surprised at how well it turned out, and shyly pleased with himself, and having so well made this one thing, he was inspired to make more. So, as often happens with young artists, he worked all night long making stars, and by morning he was surrounded by heavens. His heavens twinkled and shone, and standing in this radiant beauty, the young artist was inspired to daydream again. He rested among the stars until he found something new in his mind. He set about making this new thing. He worked all night long. By morning, he had made an earth, round and sturdy, full of bumps and chunks and ridges. The young artist, shyly pleased with himself, rested his back against a smooth ridge and gently closed his eyes. And after a time, he saw another thing in his mind. So there's an earth that he made. Blue water. This he painted onto the hard, dry earth, giving it color. The young artist loved the color and wanted more, so he floated on the blue water and dreamed. In time, he saw this green grass. He painted soft, sweet-smelling green grass, and, as young artists will almost always do, he got carried away and painted some trees. He painted green grass and tall trees all night long. And by morning, he was in a forest. Sleepily, he laid his head down on a great pine to dream. In his dream, he saw many, many new things. They all moved like life. When he woke up, he made every living thing that he had seen in his mind. And when it was finished, the whales parted the blue seas, the birds dotted the green trees, and the cow nuzzled his hand. He moved among the living creatures and, like all young artists, felt such joy and love for his creation that he thought he might explode with happiness. He wanted to tell someone what he had done, to show someone his beautiful heavens and the earth and water and grass and moving creatures. And he looked all around, but the world was empty of anyone who might listen and understand. Someone who had ears to hear, eyes to see. Someone who was an artist as well. So he worked all night long. And by morning, he had made a new artist in his own image. Shyly pleased with himself, he made another one. He loved the company. He made one more. The world began to fill up with artists. These made new ones, and the new ones made even newer ones, and of course, they all loved to daydream. Living among the blue water and the green grass, they had daydreamed the most beautiful things in the world. The first young artist, still a dreamer, has always called them his children. And they in turn have always called him their God. The end. You ready, Snowball? Okay. Snowball is my wonderful little companion, and he doesn't talk much, but he loves being here for stories, right? Right? Oh, yeah, you do. I have one more story to tell you, but this one is not from a book and doesn't have pictures. This one you're going to have to use your imagination. Yep, you got your imagination going? Okay. Cut it. All right. Okay. Calm down. You can watch the kids, see the TV. Yep, there you go. You can see them. No, you can't see them? Yeah, neither can I see them. Wish you could, but I can't. Anyway, this one's called The Dreamer also. But this one is about Joshua. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know Joshua. Yeah, Joshua knows you too. Yeah, you know Joshua for a long time. Right? Okay. Joshua had a dream. Oh, not a dream that you have at night. Like, sometimes you go home and at night, you wake up in the morning, you have a pleasant dream, or sometimes you have a scary dream. Now, this was a wonderful dream that guided his life. And his dream it was a very simple dream, was that he wanted people to love each other. Yep, yep. Not really a hard dream. And he knew that the first thing before he could get people to love each other, he had to get them to know that they were loved themselves. Because if you don't know you're loved, yeah, I know. If you don't know you're loved, you really can't love others. So his goal was to set out and let people know that they were loved. And he very simply taught them that God loved them. And God loved them very much. So doesn't it sound easy? Yeah, it sounds easy. But guess what? Not everybody liked him. So Joshua lived quite a few years ago. But if Joshua was living today, you would see him with people who maybe other people didn't like. You see him with people who are struggling. You see me with people who made mistakes in their lives. Yep. Yeah, I know. Sometimes we're scared of those people, but it's okay. And Joshua would be honest with people that were well known, people that were famous, people that were educated. Joshua had no trouble with anybody. Anybody at all. Joshua loved all people. Now, you would think, wouldn't you, that if somebody's out there, you know Joshua's story. That's not really true. You see, because when Joshua went out telling people that God loved them, people who really were self-centered type of people would say, yeah, of course he loves me. He has to love me. But people didn't like it when he was with those other people. Like the kid at school that nobody wants to sit with. Yeah, that's sad, isn't it? Or sometimes a kid that can't do good in gym and everybody makes fun of it, or they groan when he winds up on their team. Yep. Yeah. Joshua would have no problems with that. He would sit with the kid, eat lunch with him, celebrate him, try to help him see his good qualities, what was right with him. Joshua would be with the other ones as well and try to help them understand that they also needed to know that they're loved and that they need to share that love. Well, it got so bad. I know this is a scary part of the story. It got so bad that some of the people actually took him to court. And there were, yep, false witnesses. Yeah, I know. People lied. You can't believe that, but people do lie. And they lied about him because they were afraid of him. They were scared of him. They're afraid that he was going to change everything. They're afraid that they didn't want to change their lives. And, yep, okay, I know. You're scared. It's okay. They killed him. Yep, they killed him. But you know what? There's a happy ending to the story, right, Snowball? See, Joshua's name that we know him by is Jesus. And Jesus was the one who rose on the third day. And Jesus was the one that kept on telling everybody that they're loved. Even with the mistakes they make, and even though the things that they happen, they're still loved, right? Yep. And he loves you too. And he loves me. And he loves all of you. And he loves you tremendously. And we have to know that before we can love others. We need to accept it. We need to stop looking at our failures. Because God looks at the good qualities that are in us. And God looks at the good gifts we are and our loving hearts. See, God isn't there to judge. In today's gospel, if you could attend Mass, and I know you can't, but if you could have, you would have heard the reading from John's Gospel, where Jesus says, God so loved the world that he sent his only Son to save the world, not to condemn it, but to save it, to show us the love of God. And so that's what makes it so special. And that's what his dream is. In his dream, he's asking us to accept. With all that's happening in our world, can we still be loving? Can we still reach out? And yes, we have to keep social distancing, but can we love each other? Can we pick up the phone and call each other? And be there for each other? And be praying for each other? And be praying for our world? Because Jesus had no problem with anybody. And when we look at the cross and we see Jesus on the cross, it's a beautiful reminder to us that God stands with those who are suffering. Because he doesn't want them to suffer anymore. So, yep, Joshua's your friend. Joshua's my friend. Joshua's your friend too. And may you know that in your heart. And may you know that love in your heart. So you can stop any negative talking about yourselves, about others, and encourage them and support them, right? Right. Alrighty. Well, from my living room to your living room, I hope you enjoyed this time. Okay, say goodbye. Alrighty. God bless. Take care.